and welcome to this service of morning worship from St David's Church in Broom, Leys. My name is Steve Harvey, I'm the interim minister at St David's. It's great that you can join us for our worship today. A particularly warm welcome if you're joining us online for the first time. It's great that you can join us. We continue to worship online only at the moment as the lockdown continues, and we'll be continuing through February at least in this way as well, and we'll continue to monitor events and see what happens and what is possible as things develop in the country at large. Just a few reminders of things going on. So the first is that with Lent nearly upon us, next Wednesday we're going to be beginning our new prayer course on Wednesday evening. So Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock in the midweek praise slot, we're going to be running the prayer course together. This really practical, down-to-earth, really accessible study which takes us through lots of different ways of praying using the Lord's Prayer as its foundation. And so I'd really love to invite you to come and to join that. The details for how you can be involved are on the church newsletter, which if you're part of our mailing list you will have received. If you haven't received a mailing list but you'd like to be part of it, you can contact us at office@stdavidschurchbroomleys.org.uk. You'll be able to find joining instructions there. We'd love you to get involved with us. And if you've not been part of the midweek praise that's been happening on Zoom, but you'd like to be part of this, then it would be great to have you with us. Please do come and take part in it. Also on a Lenten theme, from Ash Wednesday onwards, we're going to be reading through Mark's Gospel together. So Tim has broken up our Mark's Gospel into 40 readings for us, and so the idea is that different people from the church each record part of Mark's Gospel, and we put it together, and then at the end of Lent, at Easter, we will have read through the whole of the Gospel together as a church family. So if you'd like to take part in that, again, there are details in the church news sheet, and do get in touch with us via the office if you feel able to do one of those recordings. That would be great. Also, one final thing to say is that in a church newsletter that went out this weekend as well, there's information about a questionnaire that we're asking and inviting people to take part in, really just trying to find out more about how you've been engaging with St David's since the lockdown began last year, how you're finding online worship in its different forms, as well as just beginning to ask those questions of how might this experience of lockdown over the last 10 months or so shape our vision for the future. How might that affect the way that we do church going forward? So I'd love to hear your views, so please do access that survey. Please do return your answers to us. We'd love to hear from you. So we continue today with our sermon series, which is exploring the 7 I am sayings of John's Gospel. And today we come to the 5th of those 7. I am the resurrection and the life. So that's where we're going, but before we start in earnest, let's just take a moment of quiet to still ourselves and to acknowledge God's presence with us here by His Spirit. Since the earliest days of the church, Christians have met together on a Sunday to remember and to celebrate Jesus' resurrection from the dead. This is the Lord's Day that we celebrate together. And so with that in mind, let's use these words to lead us into our worship this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And would you please join with me in the words of this, our opening prayer. Lord, you are great and greatly to be praised. Awaken us to delight in your praises, for you have made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless till they find their rest in you. Amen. So wherever you are, if you're at home, please can I invite you to stand, just that physical movement of standing, and join in the singing of our opening hymn, Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing.